What can you do with the NTVMR? The New Testament Virtual Manuscript Room, hosted by the University of Münster, is an open-access digital platform originally designed to research the Greek New Testament. In this video, I'll briefly explain what you can do with the NTVMR, highlighting its basic features and capabilities. To my knowledge, there isn't any video out there from the last 10 years explaining what you can do with it, so this is something I get a lot of questions about. VMR is actually the world's largest digital platform for studying New Testament manuscripts. There's over 5,700 known Greek New Testament manuscripts, and approximately 90% of these have images of some sort available on the NTVMR, which forms the basis for much of the research conducted there. Currently, there are more than 40 active research projects that have their workspace in the NTVMR, and over 2 million unique users visit the site annually. While the platform was initially designed for editing critical editions of the Greek New Testament, in particular the Editio Critica Maior, or ECM, it is now expanded to host a variety of other manuscript traditions and languages. For example, there is work on First Clement, which includes Greek and Syriac manuscripts. There's the Hebrew Psalter project. There's various types of projects on Greek New Testament manuscripts. This one for Omnitext is about dating Greek New Testament manuscripts. There's a collaboration with the Patriarchal Institute for Patristic Studies in Thessaloniki. There's various languages included in this project on Mark chapter 16. And then the Vetus Latina of the Bible also has a project website in the VMR. So there's a lot of possibilities for what you can do with this platform, more than what the name NTVMR might suggest. There's thousands of images of manuscripts and transcriptions you can explore. You don't need an account to use the different tools available, but if you want to save your work and create projects, you'll need to sign up for an account. It's free to do so. You only need an email address. To create an account, just go to the homepage and click Sign In, and then click on Create an Account. Here you'll be prompted to enter your information. After you do that, you'll be sent an email. Just follow the instructions on there, and then you'll have your account all set up. There's lots of images viewable even without an account, but if you want to get access to all the images to be able to post messages in the forum, you'll need to send an email to Expert Access and request to view the images. So, for example, if you go to try to look up a manuscript, and you look for an image you want to see, and it's got this lock button, you'll be prompted to send an email to Expert Access. There's some confusion about Expert Access. Since the microfilm images were made before there is a VMR, Expert Access is required to be able to view them. This is only a formality and doesn't mean you have to be an expert in anything in order to view them. You just have to request to view them. Then after you have an account, you just send an email to Expert Access, and then you'll be given permission to view images and write messages in the forum. The system's not automated, so you might have to wait for a personal reply. After you have an account in Expert Access, all the possibilities of the NTVMR are open to you. Here's an overview of some of the things that you can do in the NTVMR. The welcome screen shows you all the recent work being carried out. That includes how many verses are being indexed, how many features are being annotated, images uploaded, and there's a list of all the recent forum messages. Up at the top of the right-hand side are the statistics, so you can see how many manuscripts have images indexed and have been transcribed. So, for example, if you want to see just the papyri, you can click that, and then you'll see here that 97% of all the papyri have been transcribed, which is nearly everything, and there's 98% images for all the papyri, so that's pretty cool. The percentage given doesn't correspond exactly to the state of the manuscript, since the number of pages created for each manuscript in the VMR may not reflect the physical artifact, but it does give a good indication of how many pages have been transcribed and how many images have been uploaded. So, for example, you can see here the total number of images in the VMR, 80%, and that is 1.7 million images. So if you click on Manuscript Workspace, it brings you to a general area where you can view images and transcriptions. So if you type in a manuscript, click on it, you can scroll down. If you're interested in this page in Acts, just click on that, and that pulls the image and the corresponding transcription. This goes line for line for the image here. And then here's the versification on the right-hand side. Next is the ECM. In NTVMR, the critical editions, major critical editions of Mark, Acts, and Revelation are available. So if you wanted to find the text and apparatus for Mark 1:1, just type that in, and here you go. You can click on any one of these manuscripts, and it brings you to a transcription. If you're interested in 032, click on that, and it brings you to its transcription and shows you right where you are in Mark here at the beginning. You can click on page image, it brings you to a page of that manuscript. And if you click on manuscript workspace, it brings you back to where we just were. And you can scroll around in the manuscript if you're interested in nearby context. You can also access the CBGM from here, right there. And if there's a textual commentary, then you can click on that here. And that's the same textual commentary that was published in the edition. So quite a lot is available here. Then there's the NT conjectures. You just type in a verse and it brings up the different conjectures that are in the database for it. It's pretty interesting for history and New Testament textual criticism. There's the forum where you can write messages. There's the blog that's no longer active. There's the lista. So you can, here, just like before, type in a manuscript. Type in its GA number, here you go, 03 Vaticanus, and then here's the information about it. And you click on that to get back to manuscript workspace, where you can scroll around and find images and transcriptions. And then there's the manuscript catalog. Now that's different than the lista. The lista is only for Greek New Testament manuscripts, but for those other projects I mentioned, like First Clement, you'll be able to find the Syriac manuscripts and everything else. So in here is also included all the lista manuscripts, but also everything else. So if you click on full search, if you wanted to find something just by language, you could click on that. So for example, Armenian, there's this one here. Located in Paris, and there's even images of it. One of the most basic features you can do on the NTVMR is indexing. So you click on this, you have to type in a doc ID. It's a 5-digit number. The papyri begin with a 1, majuscules begin with 2, minuscules begin with a 3, and lectionaries begin with 4. So for example, if I wanted to index this manuscript here, 1, 2, 3, 4. There we go, that's better. This one only has indexing on the first page. So if I click on this one that doesn't have indexing, I can try to make out this first word. I know here it's the beginning of Matthew. If I wasn't sure, I could look up one of the words I just saw. Yeah, so that's the beginning of Matthew right here. And you can see Salomon corresponds to, here, Salomona, Ectes Urio. And then I look down here, so that's verse 6. I look down here, see if I can find the end of it, see if I can find a word I can make out, Sadok. So if I go down here, that's going to be this one, and then De Genese is right here, tone, and then here's the alpha of the name here. And then, so I know this ends with verse 14. So if I was going to index this, it would be Matthew 1, 6 to 14. And then I could just type that here and then hit the save button. Status we can skip for now. Then the next option is for transcribing. So if we want to go back to a manuscript we're just looking at, type that in here. And as long as it's been indexed, you can pull up a dummy text to start transcribing. So from base text, and then here pulls up Matthew 1 to 6, and then all you have to do is adjust that text according to the image here. And then you can just hit save, and then your transcription is then saved. This text here is the NA28, although it doesn't really matter what text it is because it's going to be changed. But if you're interested in actually reading the Nestle Aland 28th edition, you can do so in the manuscript workspace. So for example, we type in NA28, enter NA28 NS for nomina sacra because that's the because that's included here, so nomina sacra. And then this gives you chapter by chapter for the entire 28th edition of the Nestle-Aland. And this is the apparatus, although it's in pieces here, so you just hover your cursor over this part and you can see all the apparatus entries for the Nestle-Aland. A little known cool fact is that all of the Nestle editions are available in the NTVMR. At least the first edition through the 26th edition are available in images, and the rest are available in like a transcription. So it goes all the way here, and then starting with the 27th, then again it's just the text of it. So coming back to the home screen, the next option is for the NA28. That's just a form where you can post messages about that edition. And then there's collation. This actually gets pretty complex, but you can create your own critical edition right here in the NTVMR. Essentially, you're using your own transcriptions or published transcriptions to do that. I've written an article that gives a step-by-step guide how to do that, since it is pretty complicated. Then there's options here for help and about. So that's a brief overview of the NTVMR. I hope you found it useful. In future videos, we can go more in depth about how to use some of the digital tools. Thanks for watching.